Hey, what's up, YouTube? Joey Troy here. Man, it's been a minute. So I've been really busy with work, with my side business, and also assisting TAS, which is the Albuquerque Astronomical Society. So at the beginning of the year, I was given this like really cool award that I won, the Supernova Award, for basically assisting TAS. And so what I've been doing with TAS is I help them rebuild their whole website. And I've also been appointed as a board member of TAS, as the TAS technical director and also webmaster. So it's really cool, but I've been spending a lot of time doing that, so I haven't had a lot of free time to work on all these fun astro projects or talk about stuff on YouTube and share my thoughts with all the stuff that's going on. So what's going on? So the big thing is equatorial mounts have been getting a huge upgrade with these new strain wave gears over the old-fashioned worm drive gears that we used to use on these mounts. So there's a bunch of manufacturers that have been coming out with some really cool stuff. iOptron, Sharpstar, Rainbow, and of course ZWO, which you all know as the AM5 has nothing but love right now on YouTube. So I think that's all I can really find on YouTube. There's been a handful. So I recently just received my So, if that's not obvious enough, that was a small little snippet of the iOptron HEM27. I hope you enjoyed the music track. That's from a buddy of mine that I work with. We call him DJ Z in the office, but he goes by his stage name is Illegal NoiZe, and there's some more information here on YouTube about him. That track was called Motto, so I hope you enjoyed that. So anyways, most of you are probably thinking why I didn't go with the AM5. I'm just going to explain right away that during the unboxing, I'll break that down little by little, a little bit of a disclaimer, if you will. So essentially, as you if you may or may not know, I used to have the HEM28 mount. I purchased that like August 21. It's been a good mount. It's served me well. I've had some on and off issues with my RA. I've worked with iOptron support, which has been amazing, and basically after troubleshooting it and sending in my logs for PhD2, essentially they're like, hey, you should send this back and we can go ahead and fix basically the mount head as it's still under warranty. So I was like, cool, I'll ship it back. And while we were working everything out, I asked them if I could just trade it in towards a HEM27. iOptron basically doesn't offer any kind of trade-in programs or anything like that for customers. I basically told them I do a bunch of YouTube and blogging, and I also did some stuff with ZWO as a ASIAIR Plus experience officer. So I just kind of threw around my weight. I was like, hey, come on, guys. So long story short, after talking back and forth with him, probably the better part of a week or so through email, troubleshooting and everything else, they essentially told me that they would be cool with that. So I still paid for the mount. It wasn't like I got it for free. So this isn't going to be like this was a free mount and it didn't cost me any money. No, I paid for my paid full price for my HEM28, which was like $1,100, and then I took my mount head, shipped it back. They gave me some discount price, and then basically I got the HEM27 and also the carbon fiber mount. It was like $1,500 plus shipping and handling for sending back the old mount head. So all in all, I feel like it's a win for me and hopefully a win for iOptron as well. So with that, we'll dive into the video. And like I said, I'll go through some of the reasons why I didn't choose the AM5 over the iOptron HEM27. So This is the new iOptron HEM27. So here's the case. Let's see if I got that in frame. iOptron. It's got a nice little handle, looks like, and a zipper to open up the mount head. So here's the head. So that's probably a pretty good view. So it looks like we got the head. It smells like a new car, dude. I'm not even kidding you. The one thing that I really like, and the reason why I went with the iOptron, was the hand controller. I don't care for the hand controller on the AM5. It looked cheap. I like the go-to, so they can hook that up. Comes with your power cable. And let's see. Oh, look. They even give you a USB cable to use now with it, so that's cool. So we'll set that up. The one difference between this and the AM5 is that it's got a locking deck head. So the decking head is still using the old worm gear, but the RA is using the new strain wave gear. So that's kind of the big difference. And then it looks like I got some nice paperwork in here that's included. So it's got a nice little quick start guide on how to set it all up and about all their other amazing mounts that come, and some information about a watch battery. So I'm going to probably need to make sure I have a CR2032 battery. I don't know if one comes with it. It is, oh, it's shipped without the battery. Okay, so they didn't ship it with the battery due to shipping restrictions. So that makes sense. That's fine, whatever. All right, so got the battery in. That was pretty easy. There's just 4 little Phillips screws that you have to drop in the back to install it. So not a big deal. So let's follow the guide the right way. So we'll just take out this cool insert. So first things first, carefully read the guide before setting up your equipment. I've read through most of this. Okay, so just make sure it's in the unlock position, which it is. It's unlocked. Set up tripod. So let me do the tripod real quick and then we'll get this all set up. So be just a second. All right, another box, another knife. Right side. So that's the mount. It's pretty small, all brought down, so it's not very high. That's kind of cool. I like that. So just to give you an example, hold on. Sorry for the racket. So there's the original mount that I had for my gem, and here's the new mount for my iOptron. So a huge difference. So let's drop down the GoPro here so you guys can get a better idea. So they're definitely shorty. There's a huge difference. I'd say at least a foot, if not more. I don't know. You basically stick that little guy in there, minus the center screw. Okay, so I removed the bottom connector that's here. It's actually got the tripod hookups here that will screw into the tripod to set up the mount. So basically I need to remove the alignment peg, so take one of these and basically set it up for the mount head to be installed on here. So yeah, that'll work. So I got this one, which is just a little shorter. So all right, so there's 2 screws in here that need to come out. And now, if all is correct, there should be a place that I can screw these into. And I don't see it, so I'm guessing I'm gonna have to move this head back. All right, live and learn. Okay, so we're bringing it in 1 screw, and then this should go on here. And now I can actually see the screws for the mount to sit to. So, of course, iOptron being iOptron, there's a little Allen wrench right here that you can pull out that sits in here, and it's magnetic, which is cool. So here you can see it kind of do its magic. So you don't lose it. So you can use that to tighten up the screws on the side. So they're pretty tight. The setup is all installed and everything's all connected, so that's pretty sweet. So and then basically up here you have your adjustments that you'll make. So up here you'll have the adjustments for basically just your minor adjustments to move the mount up and down for the head and stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten up the bottom. Okay, so I was going about this all wrong, and this is not too heavy, which is kind of cool, but essentially I thought the centerpiece would be coming through the center, but it doesn't. So if you tighten it up to go to the center, it moves this up, but as soon as you tighten it down, it locks everything into place so the mount doesn't move. So don't even worry about this screwing thing, we'll just leave that alone. So it may be different for different heads, but that's kind of the breakdown. Everything should be good. I haven't set the degrees yet, so essentially it has the ability to go from 39 to 65 or 15 to 41, depending if you're in southern skies or northern skies. So I'm in the northern skies, so I'm going to be 39 to 65. And I think we're at 41 here in New Mexico, but I don't remember off the top of my head. I'll have to look for that. But that's kind of the breakdown, so I'll just do a quick pan here, so give you an idea of like how everything's set up. Here I've got the what I got, the polar alignment. It's the iPolar. So this particular iOptron has an iPolar on it, so I can hook up and basically do polar alignment with the computer. Because I use the ASIAIR Plus over here, this does all the polar alignment for me within the application and stuff like that. And then electronic autofocuser, filter wheel, red cat telescope, ASI 2600, and then an ASI 120 for my off-axis guider that's set up on here. And then I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but filter wheel. And then I have the, what do they call this thing? The black cat or something. It's a whole setup that hooks on to basically allow you to do autofocusing, and it holds the ASIAIR Plus or Pro. So that's it. So that's kind of the unboxing. Not a whole lot to it. Pretty simple. Really light. I mean, I can pick up all the gear with one hand, and it's not too bad. So it's fairly light. And it would behoove me not to tell you that on the bottom here, come up and look, there's a place for a counterweight. So right now you'll notice I don't have a counterweight set up on this. So out of the box, iOptron supports up to 29.7 pounds without a counterweight. So you don't need a counterweight to basically use this setup that I currently have on here. If I had a larger telescope, a much larger telescope to image with, you can install the counterweight and it'll support up to 44 pounds. We'll dive in a little closer here. So right now I've got the deck unlocked and everything's all set up. So essentially I've got the power coming off the deck head and coming up, and then I had to basically Velcro it around, and then it comes over to go to the ASIAIR. So I'm going to buy a custom cable, which is like, I don't know, maybe 3 inches, because that's all I really need, maybe 3 or 4 inches long. So I'll buy a custom cable for that. That's basically it. All the rest of my cables run right off the ASIAIR Plus, and then I have them run down here and connect into the back of the camera. I've got everything zip tied, so there's no dangly cables everywhere. Everything is all set up in one spot, so no matter where this goes, it's not going to matter because all my cables are already configured. So I basically have my power into the mount, and then essentially I have all the cables and power straight from the deck head into the ASIAIR Plus, and then from the Plus to everything. So this is like premium setup compared to the AM5, which there's been a lot of people that are concerned about cables and the way everything's hooked up. So to me, this is like the cleanest I have seen online, period. Big shout out to iOptron for setting this up. I really hope they keep the power in the deck head. This is really, really good and really smart on their part. I think that was just, this is the main reason I bought the mount, was because it's such an easy setup and easy teardown. I mean, there's nothing to it. It's simplistic. My only complaint that I have so far that I've seen in all this, so I basically Velcroed in the power, got everything or not zip tied, but Velcroed down to the mount, just so cables aren't flying around and jostling and stuff like that. My only complaint is the power cable that iOptron installed with the straight out, just the line in. I really wish they would have used like an L connector like this one. So if they would have used an L connector, it would have just gone, you know, tucked in. So for me, I'm a little weary just because of how close that is. I don't know if you can see that, but it's really close with my filter wheel. So something I'm going to probably have to do and have been contemplating about was getting an extender. So all right, I got everything set up now. So just a couple things. You're like, what is that ugly thing at the front of my mount? Well, that's to balance it, right? Balance even if it's ugly. So that's the key to any mount that you set up, is that you're going to want to balance it. So I have counterweights here for my declination so I can get perfect balance. The other thing that I did this morning is I went to Ace hardware store and I got some extenders to extend up, basically extend up the Red Cat. So they had some really cool M6 screws, and then some bushing plates that I used to do the extension, and then a center screw just so all three are in there. So there's 3 screws on the bottom of that Red Cat when you take it out so you can extend the mount. So now that I've extended it, I have plenty of room under here, so I'm not running into the mount head anymore. And I've done some testing to make sure everything works, and I've rotated the mount left and right and up and down and stuff like that, and all the deck, and it doesn't even get close to this, even with the USB port that's sitting on the bottom of my filter wheel. So I'm good on that. So let me just get everything lined up. So basically, per the manual, where's the manual? Hold on, let me go grab the manual. All right, so per the manual, iOptron recommends that we balance the mount. So basically what they do is, is turn on the mount and push the power on, and then press the number 9, and then use your left and right arrows to basically move the mount. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. So I'm just gonna turn it on real quick. Okay, so I'm turning it on. I'm hitting the number 9, and then I'm going to use my arrow keys, and we're just going to go ahead and move the mount to adjust declination and balance. So it should already be balanced because I just balanced it a minute ago, but we'll just do it for fun to show you why balance is so important. Probably right there. Okay, so basically on the bottom over here, and we'll swing under. What's up, YouTube? So I've got my little gear that I can release here for declination. So we'll just swing back up around. So basically at this point, we have the mount balanced on declination. So it's not moving one way or the other too much. And let me just back up just so it doesn't look like I'm trying to cheat the camera here. So if I set it straight on my declination, it's set straight. It's not moving. That's the key to any kind of equatorial mount. Doesn't matter if it's got these new strain wave gears or not. I think it's going to be a little more difficult to balance on the AM5 because the AM5 doesn't have a releasing deck head. One thing to note is that if you, on the controller, you can just hit the menu button and then press up and then hit enter twice, and it'll take you back to 0 position. So on here, just to make sure my clearance was good, I just kept moving the mount back and forth to make sure that during the rotation anywhere, it's not going to run into the mount anywhere. So I have plenty of clearance still down there. And that's something that you want to think about when you're setting it up. So that's balancing the iOptron HEM27. Okay, I know we're at 20 minutes in right now about doing the setup, but I thought it would be important to go through showing some settings that we're going to need to apply to the ASIAIR Plus or Pro, just the ASIAIR software, to get connected to the mount. So I've already got it all connected because I've used the HEM27 before, so it was the same IP address. I just needed to change the Wi-Fi settings. But a couple things. So let me just grab the camera real fast. Okay, so basically what we want to do is we want to go to menu, and then under menu we're going to go down to settings and then hit enter, and then we're going to go up until we hit Wi-Fi options and hit enter. And then in here you're going to see the wireless status. You just hit enter on that, and then on there you're going to get your IP address for the mount. So we're going to need this information for the ASIAIR software. So that's 10.10.100.254, and if you look at the port, it shows 08899. Just drop the 0, it's just 8899 is the port number. So that's basically grabbing those settings from basically the Wi-Fi on the iOptron hand controller. Okay, so in here we're going to go ahead and open up the ASIAIR software. So I've got a Bluetooth mouse set up so you can see where I'm moving my cursor to, and then you're going to want to go to enter the device. And then in here, essentially the first thing that we need to do is go to the Wi-Fi, and then you're going to need to make sure to go to the Wi-Fi on here. And then there's an option for station mode. So on the station mode, when you get it turned on, it's going to drop your Wi-Fi down to 2.4 gigahertz. And then once the station mode's on, it'll show all the Wi-Fi access points that are near you. In here, I just chose the HBX as that's the device for the iOptron. There is no password. You just click on it and it connects. So once you do that, you can just back out of all this, and then you can go down to the mount. And then on the mount settings, essentially you're just going to choose your mount that's on here. So mine was already selected because I used to have the HEM27. You want to make sure that Ethernet is set, and then we're going to use that IP address that we had, 10.10.100.254, and the port is 889, and then essentially you'll connect, and then it should connect to the mount. One thing that I do like and is necessary for the ZWO software is that you need to make sure that daylight savings time is disabled on the hand controller. So we're going to go ahead and do that now, but I just wanted to show you the settings inside the ASIAIR Plus software for connecting your iOptron. Okay, so we want to make sure that our DTC is off for daylight savings time. So you just want to hit the menu button. You're going to go down to settings. Settings, and hit enter. And then under the settings, you're going to want to go to set date, time, and site. Hit enter. And then in here, you're going to see DST. It should always say no matter if you're in daylight savings time or not. Just always leave it as no for the ASIAIR software. So again, that's good, so we don't even have to worry about it. So at this point, we can just hit the back button all the way back to the beginning, and that's all we need. All right, so that concludes setting up the iOptron HEM27 with my Red Cat and all my ASIAIR gear. I hope it was beneficial. I hope it was helpful to kind of go through that. I'm going to be doing some more videos of basically driving the mount, and so stay tuned for some more stuff that'll be coming up here shortly, barring the weather being good outside. It's been really, really cloudy here in New Mexico lately. I don't know if it's just because I got gear or if it's just the weather sucks. So with that, till next time, we'll see you.